So, again, I talked about how I lived in the gray for all this time. And I talked about taking on life as like a fight. So I wanted to fight back with all these things, but I kind of took it another step also. Instead of just fighting against this mental health every day. So again, like every morning, I have a routine of before I get out of bed and even look at my phone, which, by the way, your phone is, whether you have depression or anxiety or not, clinically, you do because of that phone. I said, none of us we don't wake up in the morning and actually look at your phone. None of us really are the heir to a Nigerian prince where we won $2 billion. Doesn't happen. There's nothing but problems on that phone. And it's just a harder world to live in these days. Like you look on Instagram or Facebook and man, you're comparing yourself to everybody else's filtered fraction of 1 second of one day. How are you supposed to survive like that? You're like, man, my life sucks. I feel so left out. My life doesn't suck, but I look at Instagram, I think it does. Or on Twitter, man, I grew up in the Jersey Shore. When you got your butt kicked in the playground in Jersey Shore, it sucked for about a month. Now you're getting your butt kicked 1,000 times a second on Twitter. It's hard. It's a difficult place to exist. So you don't have to have a clinical level to go through a lot of the same issues that we have. But so every morning I go through these things of getting myself to get out of bed. And just to describe it for those who don't have this, when you have depression, anxiety, you feel the sky's falling every day. You feel like the universe hates you, and it doesn't. The universe conspires to help us. It does not hate us. No one's against us. But your brain doesn't let you think logically. It doesn't think that way. It's exhausting. So you just sit there and lay. But once I make that decision to get out of bed, I decide to live relentlessly every day. So part of this is not just kind of playing defense with my mental health. I said, I want to flip the script. I'm going to make all my mental health issues my superpower. Then it can't mess with me. It doesn't have a grip on me anymore. So let me explain. My depression. So what you guys see now, the Jay Glazer up here doing 21 years of Fox NFL Sunday and 4 or 5 years at CBS before that. What you don't know is the first 11 years of my career, 11 years, I could not get a full-time job. I made $9,450 a year, living in New York City, covering the Giants. Excuse my language, that shit was terrible. Oh my God. My little niece, Michael Strahan, had to drive me back into New York City every day. For 9 years, I owned like 29 grand in Lincoln Tunnel fare. It's terrible. But I got rejected for 11 years, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, man, I know I built a better mousetrap than these other reporters out there. Why does no one want to buy it? But I got rejected over and over and over and over. 11 years of rejection. That's hard. But I was able to get rejected because of my depression. Let me sink in for a second there. Because my depression made me feel worthless and unworthy of these good things, when I got rejected, I'm like, sure, I was supposed to get rejected. No problem. Yeah, I deserve it. I'm good. That let me go for 11 years. If I didn't have those issues, I would have tapped out. I wouldn't have been able to deal with that. Rejection, I couldn't deal with that kind of rejection. Not at all. So that allowed me to do that. My anxiety, because of my anxiety, I am great in chaos. I suck in calm, but I am great in chaos. When you spent, yeah, there we go, thank you. No, I want a full clap on that. Let's go, come on, there we go. I'm not settling for less. When you spend half your life in a cage, trust me, you want to be good in chaos. When Chuck Liddell is throwing a kick at your head, you don't want to be calm. But also allows you to just think on the fly. If I didn't have this anxiety, the anxiety gets you to fear, again, that everything's gonna be taken away, the sky's gonna fall. So it gets you to work harder, 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 you don't stop. And what's gotten me to be where I am has been this ridiculous, relentless work ethic. That's the anxiety. The ADHD, that allows me to do 6 careers at once. I could be an NFL insider. I could do mixed martial arts. I was also the first host of an MMA show in America. I've started 2 charities, one for veterans and ex-players called Merging Vets and Players. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Absolutely, yes. And you know what, if we bring up the military, I would have these groups, I put the military and our pro athletes together. And all those who when the uniform comes up, it's scary to lose your locker room. It's scary. Locker room, you can mess with anything, you're good. You lose that locker room, right? It's a scary place. That's why I'm 54 years old. I've had 12 ruptures on my back. I'm still sparring. I can't stop. I'm not gonna ever lose my locker room. I'm afraid for me what happens if I don't have it. But we put these groups together of our athletes and our veterans, and I started kind of coaching them in this way with finding your team and mental health and being open about it. It was incredible, their response. And I knew if I could help a high-risk group like our veterans, 22 vets a day kill themselves. That is not okay. That is not okay. But I knew if I could help that group, then I could help the rest of the world. And that's really what prompted me to be able to write my book, Unbreakable, and do this podcast that I now have to constantly talk about it. So the ADHD helps being able to do these charities and the 90 things at once. The bipolar, that one I'm still trying to figure out. But I used to think for all these years that I was cursed by depression, anxiety, and ADHD and bipolar. I'm sitting up here with you guys tonight. Clearly, God did not curse me with this. God blessed me with what I have. All right. So I've also been blessed to be around some really, really amazing warriors of life and the highest level of people who accomplish things, and some great teammates over the years. And the guy I want to call up next here, he is a Hall of Famer, Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings, but how about this, right? So he also played for the Miami Dolphins, right? Came out of retirement. I broke the story. I don't know who that source could have been. But I've also seen him do a lot of good for a lot of people. Chris Carter's been through a lot in life. He's never been a victim because of it. He's used his scars to help so many people, and to see the immediate impact he makes, I'm glad you guys get to see what I've seen for many, many years. Chris Carter.